Alright, the Battle of Pluto explained by an Australian. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's go to it. Let's go.
G'day guys and gals. There's been a
Majorkill!
donkey load of battles within Warhammer 40k. Some are unbelievably epic and are a must know for all fans. Others are
Hey, y'all ever like randomly and like I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like my diet, I'll keep it real. Most of the time it's pretty cool. There's some times to where, you know, I indulge into like, you know, some hot Cheetos or whatever, but other than that, my diet's pretty good. Y'all ever like sometimes just like wanna like eat like some fruit just randomly? Like I'm starving for some fruit right now, y'all. Like I don't know what it is, but I could definitely take an apple or like an orange right now. I don't know. That's like a random thought. My bad, y'all. I ain't mean to.
generic, uninspired, and forgettable. The Battle of Pluto, despite being widely awesome and contrasting skills of the Imperial Fist and Alpha Legion, often flies under the radar, as it was overshadowed by the insanity that was the Siege of Terror. But make no mistake, the Battle of Pluto, as well as its setup and aftermath, was extremely interesting, as it not only gave us a great insight to what the Alpha Legion is actually trying to accomplish, but it also showed off how brilliant Rogal Dorn is as well. So it's my absolute—
Bro, Rogal Dorn is him, bro. Even his uniform, that's the dude with the you know, with the all gold, right? With the white hair. Man, bro. Hey, he's him. No lie, he's actually him.
pleasure to dive into it today, because it was actually one of the most complicated engagements in all of 40k. Before we get started, the great—
Alright, we're good. Oh, I'm about to dive in.
Okay, so we do need to set the scene. After all, this was an Alpha Legion battle, so obviously it's going to be convoluted as fuck. The Alpha Legion had placed a number of its agents in stasis on Terra years before the outbreak of the Horus Heresy.
I'm gonna keep it real. Alpha Legion, I don't really know how, I know some things about them, but like I don't know too much about them. I'm gonna keep it real. Like their actual like armor look is not that bad, but like I don't know. I need to learn like, you know, more about them.
The reasoning isn't super duper clear, but they were given various different potential missions based on what their activation codes were. We don't know exactly what each code meant, but some codes were more loyalist leaning and others were more traitor leaning. The fact that Alpharius had put these Marines here with these codes years before Horus would turn traitor and kick off the fiasco is pretty alarming, with the Marines themselves being quite disturbed to wake up in a galaxy that was very different to the one they went in stasis for. But regardless, these Marines were to perform a number of sabotage-based missions against Terra, designed to spook it and outline its weaknesses, however not cause any sort of serious damage. The Alpha Legion's first move in this complicated scheme was to instigate various different low impact but loud sabotages. They made a spaceship blow up with the power of a turbo nuke, lighting up the skies of Terra. They filled a space station with psycho gas that made its occupants murder each other. They instigated riots and played the War Master's name on repeat on loudspeakers across the world. All of this distracted the Imperium long enough for an Alpha Legion strike team to infiltrate the palace, led by a space marine called Slaanesh. Their target was a big room that held a statue of each of the Primarchs, both loyal and traitor. They detonated bombs on each of the statues to create a controlled demolition. However, due to the brilliance of Rogal Dorn and his Huskal commander Archamus, they were able to intercept this team and kill all of them bar Slaanesh. However—
Damn, bro, Rogal Dorn really got it like that, bro? But I thought he just looked nice. Pause. But I just thought he looked nice, yo. I didn't know he was really that calculated. And bro, I'm gonna keep it honest with you, bro. Like obviously we all know Vulcan is #1 in my book. I'm gonna keep it real for what it is, bro. Like, bro, this just screams aura. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like if I woke up, right? You know, I'm in my little tiny whinies or whatever, you know, and you know, I get in my suit. Right? Everything, you know, starts like, you know, to connect. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like as I walk through the hallways and as I like, you know, walk outside and as I walk, you know, like next to people and, you know, I'm bumping shoulders with people, you know, because my aura is just too strong. I'm going to keep it real for what it is, bro. Like, I would have insane aura. Like, if I was wearing this, bro, like, I don't like to, like, bully nobody, whatever, because, like, you know, that's just, like, not a good thing to do. But if I had this on, I think I would bully people. Like, I think I would be like, puny little human as I walk past them. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think maybe I would do that, you know?
The mission was a success. All statues collapsed except for Rogal Dorn and Alpharius's, more or less stating that Alpharius was setting up a showdown with Rogal and he wanted Rogal to know about it. Now, although the Alpha Legion's shock attack was loud and scary, it did basically zero lasting damage to the Sol System's defenses. It was incredibly superficial, like a loud clap or a slap that sounds painful but isn't. You could argue that it was because the goal was to distract, not actually damage, or that the Imperial Fist defenses were too good, so only superficial targets could be hit, but I think there's more to it than that, which I'll get into later. Archamus is sent on a bit of a Sherlock Holmes-esque goose chase with the help of some diverse sidekicks to try track down Psylonius and uncover his plot, while Dorn takes a huge chunk of the defenders and phalanx out of the Sol system to seemingly counterattack a traitor fleet which has been silencing the systems next to Sol. Dorn's apparent logic is that the Alpha Legion would never expect him to leave the Sol system, so would be unprepared for a devastating counterattack. However, Alpharius had predicted this, and also predicted Archamus eventually catching up to Psylonius, or as it's revealed, Psylonius being Alpharius all along, who underwent temporary psychic reconstruction. Meaning, yes, a traitor Primarch got into the Imperial Palace prior to the Siege of Terra.
Oh, so he had like a Psyker BBO, okay.
Brings the Alpha Legion's
Makes
trap.
sense.
2 armadas converge on Pluto. The first is 100 basic shitty trap ships that tie up Sigismund's defense fleet, while another 200 elite Alpha Legion ships attack from the flank. 200 ships that have been floating dead in the void for a year in the Sol system in preparation for this. The entire plan and its execution was so extra and over the top, very much a certified Alpharius moment. Sigismund's men board the first 100 ships, however find themselves ambushed by Alpha Legionnaires as the 200 ships flank them. Their star forts and whatnot are boarded and taken over, and shit is looking grim as.
Ooh.
To make matters worse, Archamus and his merry men are ambushed on a space station orbiting Pluto, with Archamus getting stabbed in the chest by Alpharius himself. Basically, it's looking like the Imperial fists have played right into the Alpha Legion's hands, with a smug Alpharius tutting at how predictable the Imperial fists are. But that's when Dorn launches his own surprise, showing that Alpharius had played into his hands instead. Dorn and his mega fleet never really left the Sol system. They travelled to its edges, pretended to warp jump, but in reality just used the system's gravitational pull to do a lap of the system and then slingshot themselves to Pluto at the right moment. And that moment came. Dorn's epic fuck you fleet, led by his Gloriana class ship and the Phalanx, they tear into the Alpha Legion fleet, obliterating ships like George Pell obliterates choir boys. Alpharius only has a moment to say, well, shit, before Dorn and his Huskar elites teleport onto the space station he is on. Alpharius charges with his Lanarian elite Terminators who crash into Dorn and his chosen sons. Alpharius is described as fighting like a tide, rushing in for feral close quarter butchery before dashing out of range and then preparing to re-engage and strike like a viper. In and out, in and out. Dorn, on the other hand,
in and out, in and out. Okay, so his strategy. Okay. So he tried the quick, like little, like the quick, like hit, and then like the what they call it in boxing. I'm pretty sure y'all watched all the Rocky movies. The stick and move. The stick and move. Like you try to like, move, right? The stick, move. Like you kind of like, you got a Floyd Mayweather, Michael Jackson. Floyd Mayweather, Michael Jackson. Like you got to stick and move it. That's what they call it. The stick and move. Okay. So he tried to like do like the little stick and move. Okay, I respect that.
Is an unstoppable force, tearing through the Lanarians with his giga-fuck chainsword. Somehow, Archamus has also returned to his feet through sheer force of will, despite having one of his hearts destroyed. Dorn and Alpharius finally engage in battle and begin a vicious duel. Alpharius is all poise and speed, Dorn an impenetrable fortress. They trade blow after blow. Any Space Marine attempting to interfere is simply obliterated on the spot as an afterthought. It's at this time that Alpharius starts speaking, which would go on to confuse the shit out of almost everyone. Alpharius says that he isn't here to kill Dorn or break Terra, but to deliver them victory. He says he isn't here on behalf of Horus, and that he knows Horus's weaknesses. He literally says, I am here to deliver you victory. Over and over he speaks of victory, the truth, true victory. Dorn just ignores it, totally focused on the duel. Archamus watches and sees that Alpharius has baited Dorn with a feint, getting inside Dorn's guard and setting up what appears to be a killing stroke, a perfect thrust that would pierce Dorn's torso. But here's the thing, this moment was basically a miniaturized version of the entire engagement. As Alpharius thrusts, Archamus charges in.
Now, why would you... Okay, so let me just be the first one to just break this whole... Hey, pause. Let me just be the first one to say pause. While Alpharius thrust, really? Like, yo, I don't want to be that guy, nothing like that, yo, but I'm pausing the entire show. I'm putting a halt! I'm putting a stop on everything. That's absolutely, thrusting is ridiculous.
Even managed.
Hey, I'm gonna say it for what it is. Like this little belt that he has, bro, that like Rogal Dorn has, bro. Oh my goodness.
To kill a Lanarian Terminator to get there. Arcamus attempts to block the blow, but it sends him flying without even slowing it. But that doesn't matter as Dorn shoulder charges into the strike, lodging the spear harmlessly in his shoulder pad. Dorn then grabs Alpharius. All Alpharius can say is, "Brother?" before the butchery begins. Dorn slices off Alpharius' arms at the elbow, then he crisscross slashes his chest, exposing Alpharius' ribs and organs.
Ooh. He breaking them down like, oh my god. Yo, he's giving him like the frog treatment, or like a crab treatment, or like a fish treatment. Bro, I don't know if y'all know, but like whenever like y'all cook like crabs, you know, fish or whatever, or like a shark or whatever, you gotta like start dissecting it, right? Like some people, they take it out like the humane way or whatever. Man, he dissected him. He said, brother, bro, what you doing, bro? I lost. What you doing? He said, all right, yeah, you lost. Slice. Man, slicing and dicing it up, bro. Man, oh my god, bro, turn that man into like string cheese, like.
Dorn then shoves Alpharius' own spear into his chest before finally ripping his sword down on Alpharius' skull, killing his brother and ending the Battle of Pluto.
He hit him with the 5-knuckle shuckle of Doomerson. Yo. He did not do that. That was kind of overkill.
The indication of any true Primarch death.
That was overkill.
Arcamus witnesses this and finally dies, content that his duty is fulfilled and that his Primarch is safe. The real Silonius, who turns out to be the Harrow Master of the Alpha Legion, orders a full withdrawal, with them getting chased and bombed by the Imperial Fist the entire time. It doesn't specifically state the Alpha Legion's fleet losses, but the 100 initial distraction ships all would have been lost, alongside the thousands of Alpha Legionnaires aboard them. And I wouldn't be surprised if over half of the 200 true Alpha Legionnaire ships were wiped out. They were already suffering losses before Dorn arrived, and when he did, the Phalanx was literally popping 3 or 4 Alpha Legion ships at a time. Then when you consider that most deaths happen when an army routs, it isn't that far-fetched of a number. So what does it all mean? Was Alpharius trying to defect to the Loyalists, teach them a lesson, or was that just a lie, and did he in fact wish to soften up terrorist defenses to make it easier for the War Master? Well, let's look at both sides. Firstly, all the damage and sabotage that the Alpha Legion did was extremely superficial. Not many Imperial Fists died, no important defense systems were compromised, and even when the Imperial Palace itself was breached, all they did was knock over some statues. They easily could have detonated some nuclear warheads in shit and spicy places, but they chose not to. Even choosing Pluto as the battleground keeps the conflict away from Terra, Mars, Jupiter, and other key worlds in the Sol system. Alpharius kept saying that Dorn didn't stand a chance if he defended Terra in the classic Imperial Fist style, implying that he should change his style if he wished to do so. But Alpharius was arrogant and didn't realize that the Imperial Fist style wasn't just this straightforward defense that could be easily unraveled through wit. After all, Dorn outplayed Alpharius, which is why he died and his fleet was crushed. What can be confusing is that Alpharius was generally considered to be the more traitorous of the twins, with Amigon being the more loyalist. So why is Alpharius the one coming to Terra to try help Dorn? In his own retarded way, of course. Some people think it was actually Amigon taking Alpharius' name, with others thinking that Alpharius had a change of heart and believed that yes, maybe the Loyalists could actually win. Regardless, there is actually a few interesting points from the engagement that people often overlook. One point was that the Alpha Legion had been collecting a lot of data about Terra's defenses. However, instead of beaming that data out into the void where Horus could collect it, they beamed it back into the Sol system, more than likely as a way of telling Dorn what intel they had gathered, what weaknesses they had discovered, and what Dorn should change. Amigon, now posing as Alpharius after his brother's death, gave Horus a list of the Sol system's defenses, which might seem traitorous, but if they gave Dorn the same list, then Dorn would have fixed all those issues prior to the siege, meaning Horus was using out-of-date data, which I believe since the Loyalists made the trade.
Horus, you were doomed from the beginning. Like, you were using the last update. This ain't, you're not updated. You're using the last update. You're not even updated fully. Like, you haven't even been like patched yet. Like, you're still using the older version. We're in 2025 and you still got the iPhone 3. Talking about some, iBubble games, or what was it called? Let's play iMessage games. You can't play that, bro. Bro, hey, if you even try to load up iMessage games on an iPhone 3, man, that's a C4, bro, waiting to happen.
Just pay bad badly for every meter of ground they gained. It's even stated that after the Battle of Pluto, a massive overhaul and purge of Terra's defense network was undertaken to better prepare it. You may have also noticed that the Alpha Legion did not take part in the Siege of Terra, with Omegon deliberately taking them elsewhere, likely as an act of loyalty to the Emperor, although there was a few Alpha Legion operatives on Terra, with some acting as loyalists and others acting as traitors. Here's what I think. I think it was Alpharius, not Omegon, who came to Terra. He wanted to flex on Dorn and prove that his method of war was superior. Then upon humiliating Dorn, he would unveil that he was here to help and that he had changed his mind about the war. However, Dorn was too good to be outplayed and he got the upper hand instead, with Alpharius being so frustrated that his communication skills became dog shit,
Dorn
and he
is
was
him,
too
bro.
proud to surrender. I've made a few videos on the Alpha Legion already that go into their status as loyalists or traitor legions, and the Battle of Pluto is a great point that dives into that debate. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the
shout out to our boy Majorkill, man, for this video, man. Comment down below what y'all think about this, and also, man, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and like the video. I really appreciate all the support, all the previous support, and also, man, make sure y'all follow my Twitch down below. We are like, what, 3 followers away from 100 followers on Twitch, so that would mean the world if you guys could just, you know, help your boy out on Twitch. But other than that, man, y'all been absolutely killing it. Y'all been killing that subscribe button. Continue to step on that subscribe button, and I'm gonna see y'all later for the next one. I'm out. Peace out, everybody.